It's shiny. Yes! It's a pretty color. You look good holding it, Simon.
Huh? What? I love it.
We'll continue with our INDYCAR Grand Prix press conference, joined now by the winner of the race, Simon Pagenaud, his third INDYCAR Grand Prix race here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Simon, I was just saying that trophy and you go excellent together.
Yeah,
I think
number 3.
I think the first question we have to ask you, Simon, obviously, is take us through those last few laps. You know that you have the pace to catch Scott, but again, you are chasing a 5-time champion. Take us through that moment for you.
Just to backtrack a little bit, the car was just amazing all day. So it was really weird. At the time, I thought people were saving fuel, and we were saving fuel. So I didn't understand why we had so much pace at times. And then when it started raining, obviously I had no knowledge of the track, no knowledge of our setup in the rain. So, I thought, okay, well, I've got experience in sports cars. I've been racing a lot in the rain. I love racing in the rain. So I thought I'm just going to attack right away and see. And right away I noticed our car was much better than others on the braking. So I could really attack and get the tires hard quickly. And that's how I jumped a lot of people right away. And then I gained confidence. And then I noticed a lot of people were struggling with tire wear, and we didn't. So then I kept on pushing, but we're still trying to keep the tires underneath me. But it was just incredible to see the pace we had in the rain conditions. And I took a lot of risk for sure, maybe more than Dixon needed to take some risk, because we're in a position where I can take some risk right now. And the car was so good that I just gave it 100% every lap. Honestly, in the last 2 laps to go, I almost thought about saving second, and then all of a sudden I realized, well, I've got too much space for this. And we caught Scott by a lot, and I guess you call it the penultimate lap, the one before the last?
Penultimate,
Woo,
yes.
That's a word. And when I realized that, I had a shot, but I was out of push to pass, so my only chance was to get him on the infield. But quite frankly, none of the passes I made today are planned. I just drove with full instinct, animal mode, and it worked out.
Simon, you were very clear in Long Beach that, hey guys, I haven't gone anywhere. I'm still here.
Yeah.
How important was it to you to put an exclamation point on that and really show that you belong in Victory Circle?
Well, yeah, I mean, we've had, amazing seasons. If you think about 2016, the domination we had, 2017 was just as good. Quite frankly, we actually scored more points that year. So we had a really, really good season in 17. And last year was about understanding this new car. I think we saw that my teammates and myself all struggled a little bit to understand it as well. But that's where Team Penske come as a strong entity, with my teammates, with also my crew and my engineers, where we all gathered together to try to fix the issues in a very smart way, without being too smart. We went back to basics. We tried to figure it out, and the car is just getting better and better every races. So now, slowly I'm definitely gaining the confidence that I've had been able to achieve in the past. And right now I'm driving better than I did in 16, so results will come. But you got to be patient.
We'll open up for questions. Yes, sir.
Félicitations, Simon, en passant.
Merci.
Première question en français.
In French. Everybody's going to understand. That's good. They're used to it. So.
Are you happy? We talked about it yesterday. On en a parlé en français hier. À quel point que tu voulais commencer le mois de mai de la façon dont tu l'as commencé aujourd'hui. Et en plus de ça, de la façon aussi que tu te semblais confident aussi avec la pluie. Tu es content de ça puis de voir le résultat que tu as réussi aujourd'hui?
Bah écoute, dans un premier temps, j'adore conduire sous la pluie. Donc forcément, quand il s'est mis à pleuvoir, j'ai tout de suite pensé que ça allait être une bonne opportunité pour moi. J'étais en pleine confiance à ce moment-là, en plus avec la voiture, donc tout s'est bien mis en route. Après ce week-end, pour moi, on avait une auto exceptionnelle, même en qualif. Il nous manquait juste un peu de vitesse. Comme on en parlait, c'est difficile de comprendre comment aller plus vite. Et en course, ça s'est justifié, on avait une bonne auto. On était rapide, on arrivait à bien tenir les pneus. Et pour moi, même sur le sec, on aurait joué la gagne. Donc quand tu peux être fort dans plusieurs conditions comme ça, c'est encore plus gratifiant. Mais c'est vrai qu'on l'a fait un peu à la manière. Donc les dépassements, le panache était chouette et très honnêtement, je crois que c'était une de mes plus belles courses je pense qu'elle était la plus polichée, je dirais. Il n'y a pas eu d'erreur de fait, tout était parfait. Donc c'est certainement une des plus sweet. A little bit of English in the French. Did you get that? Yeah.
Pretty sweet. Wolfgang.
Simon, congratulations first. You said the car was amazing all the time and people were struggling, your rivals. Nevertheless, when your car was so dominant in the wet, personally before the race, you were hoping that it was raining to get an advantage?
I honestly always hope for rain because I love driving in the rain. It's such a fun exercise. You know, it's you can't calculate as much. You really have to balance the car with your feet, your hands, and play with it, dance with it, and instinct driving comes out. Where on the dry track it's very much repetitive. In the wet, it's more like what I used to grow up on, dirt racing. So it reminds me of my childhood and. Passion comes back out and it's fun. So it's just a lot of fun in the rain. But I honestly didn't know if it were going to be good. It very much depends on your car too in the wet. But I felt like I had to seize my opportunity today, and I definitely had red mist and used it.
Tucker White, SpeedwayMedia.com. Simon, during the broadcast, they mentioned that when you were with Pagenaud doing sports cars, that and I'm quoting them, that they made you do 6 days a year train to race in the rain. What exactly did they do to help you race in the rain?
We had some great days with Sébastien Bourdais in the Peugeot days because it's a team that was getting ready for Le Mans, and the Le Mans was the only race, really the only goal for the year. We did other races, but it was just preparation for Le Mans. So we did days and days of reliability just going around circle. And we would do days in the rain, days in the dry, days on soft tires, days on medium, days on hard. It was amazing the amount of testing we did in the laps. So I did drive a lot in the rain in my career, but quite frankly, in France it rains all the time. So especially where I'm from. So I've done a lot of laps in the rain in my career. I've always loved it. The first few laps I did in rain, I crashed a lot, but I was fast. So I just had to figure out how to dial it back a little bit, and it's working.
Simon, there were times out there where you were going like a second a lap, not just faster than the people ahead of you, but faster than anyone. Were you experimenting with different lines to get, because we saw you taking very different lines while you were stalking Harvey and Dixon. Was that you finding the areas of more grip in the wet?
Yeah, I was trying to see, for each corners it was a bit different because obviously we have a new sealant on part of the track, and the sealant reacts very differently than there's a patch in turn 1, there's a patch in turn 12 in the mid corner, and I was trying to avoid those patches that were very slippery to carry that speed through. So I was trying different line to see, but my car was just very, very good on the braking, so I could really experiment with that and fake some moves on people, and by doing that they were thrown off their game, and I would gain time mid-corner and get them on the exit. So that's what I was playing with, really. Just figured out that they were a bit, and the car is very bright too, so when you're threatening someone, you get in their mirrors, they look in the mirrors, so you can play with that.
Leads right into my question. Jack Harvey just described when you passed him for a second. He said it was like seeing a yellow dart go by his to the inside. And just describe that pass, because that pass, you can't get to Dixon unless you get past Harvey first.
Yeah. I knew that was. I had to. First there was Piggott. Leist was very important. Piggott was very. Was it Piggott or Jones? I don't remember. It was black car. That was a very important pass too to get to Harvey. I saw Harvey was struggling, but I didn't know Dixon seemed to be quite far. So I didn't know if I was going to be able to get Dixon at the time, but I knew, I had to jump those people to have a chance. And Harvey was struggling with his front tires. I could see that from far. I wasn't. So then, obviously, like I said earlier, I was very confident in the braking. And with that push to pass, that was my only chance. So I guess he had a lot of downforce on his car too. So at the end of the straightaway, I was gaining and faked the outside, went to the inside, and quite frankly, it was a bit of it was a late braking, and I avoided him basically by passing him. So that's what happened.
I think Ben Bretzman said that with 5 laps to go, you were 6 seconds behind the leader, and you end up winning the race. So that's a pretty healthy gap to make up in that short a period of time. Yeah,
it was a big gap. And then the first lap I passed Harvey, I saw Dixon locked up a bit in turn 7. I gained good 2 seconds, I think. And then, I realized he was struggling. So then he started pushing a bit, and that was my chance. Because the more he was pushing, the more he was going to degrade his tires. And I think he had more to lose too. Yeah, all of a sudden, 2 laps to go, I'm like, I'm not going to get him. But then I pushed my braking zones again, found a little bit more pace in the car in the last 2 laps. And quite frankly, I didn't plan on that pass in turn 8. That was just, it just happened. That was a cool pass. Outside of turn 8, did not expect that to work, but he just didn't have a good drive out of 7, so I took it.
Simon, tomorrow is Mother's Day, and if I remember correctly, is your mom's name Sophie?
Sylvie, yeah.
Yeah, Sylvie.
It's a different date in France.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to ask you if she was watching this race. Does she know you won?
Oh yeah. I'm sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure she knows. My dad, my mom, everybody in the family follows racing. So I mean, what I do. So they'd be the first one to text me and follow the race. She was upset yesterday. The app actually said I was 20th. So she was really upset. I said, Mom, it's okay. I'm 8. Relax. I got a good car.
So your car cool. was so good. Is there a reason, do you think, why your 2 teammates wouldn't have been, didn't seem to show the speed that you had? Is it something that you just found? And then with Dixon, he said that he didn't have front grip, especially in the slower parts of the track, which I think is how you were able to pass him, even though he had the push to pass. It was just amazing to watch you catch him and then pass him.
Thank you. Obviously, the car behavior comes out more in slippery conditions, especially in the rain situation. So, I mean, like we said yesterday, our cars, the Team Penske cars, were really, really good in qualifying. So, I knew Ben said, my engineer, and by the way, it was his birthday today, so I was really happy we got a win. He said it probably is going to rain. I said, whatever, the car is good in the dry, so it should be good in the rain. I think the disbalance you may have shows more in the rain, and we didn't have any. So the chassis was phenomenal, and the engine did a good job too. So, interesting.
Juste revenir sur, à partir de la dernière relance, à quel point tu étais en 6e position, puis là que tu te ramasses à l'avant. Le défi que c'était de courir sous la pluie, ça a été quoi le plus gros ajustement que tu as dû faire pour être capable d'éviter d'avoir une collision ou quelque chose comme ça? Parce que ça a été des dépassements assez audacieux de ta part, là, surtout celui sur Harvey ou dans le 8e.
Écoute, je me suis concentré sur faire quelque chose de différent de ce que faisaient les autres, en fait. Donc, la seule façon de doubler quelqu'un, c'est de faire quelque chose, à mon opinion, c'est de faire quelque chose de différent. Donc, je faisais l'opposé, souvent, et je me suis adapté un petit peu à ce que ma compétition faisait, en fait. Mais très vite, je me suis rendu compte que notre chance, c'était sur les freins. On a une voiture qui était performante sur les freinages, donc à partir de là, je pouvais un petit peu manipuler leur attaque sur les virages en me positionnant à l'intérieur ou à l'extérieur, et c'était moi qui commandais, en fait. C'était un peu un jeu d'échecs qui a bien fonctionné parce que j'avais l'auto pour le faire et que j'étais très à l'aise et en confiance. Donc je pense que c'est ça, c'est vraiment là que j'ai compris qu'on avait un avantage. Très honnêtement, quand il s'est mis à pleuvoir, j'étais en tête. C'était un petit peu dur à accepter de devoir rentrer au stand et de repartir 6 avec les pneus pluie où je ne savais pas si on allait être bien. Mais on a fait le boulot, voilà. Donc quand l'exécution était faite.
You just said, I don't think in French, I think before that, but that a bad setup is kind of reflected more in the rain.
Yeah, I think so.
Do
Yeah.
you think a good setup is reflected more in the rain? Were you surprised when the rain came more and you were even quicker?
Well, I think when you have no weakness on your chassis in the rain, it's going to show more because you have less grip. So if you have less grip, the bad cars are going to bad cars. There aren't many bad cars around here no more, but a car that has a weakness is going to show more of that weakness. And you can look, if you looked at all three cars in Victory Lane, all tire wear on the wet tires were different on all three cars, and that's quite interesting to see. Dixon's rear were gone, Harvey's front were gone, so that's very interesting to see that because that means we run very different setups, and that means that in the dry those cars behave differently. Well, I think I had the best balanced car today, that's all.
Simon, it seems as though that throughout the month of May, most of the attention is put on the 500. Certainly an eventful and exciting race today. For the fans, what makes the Grand Prix special and what makes it stand out, especially today's race?
Well, I think the Grand Prix has really taken its position within the month. I think, obviously, to me, it really starts with the Rev event that was last week, which is a great party, a great way to show the speedway to the fans, a great way to interact between the drivers, the fans, and have a good time. Obviously, during that day, none of the drivers are stressed out about their car, and they can just be normal and have a good time with the fans. Then after that, you get the Indy Grand Prix, which is obviously some of what IndyCar, a lot of what IndyCar is. We have a championship. We race 18 races a year. There's a champion crown at the end. It's fantastic that we get to showcase what our IndyCars can do on a road course. And quite frankly, this road course is pretty awesome. Doug Bowles and everybody at IMS putting a great effort in making that racetrack what it is. And it's an exciting racetrack because you can pass people. They've done a great job, and it showcased what IndyCar is all about, I think. You can start 8th and win a race. That's what, a racetrack is very important for the racing. And we've got a long straightaway that really helps drafting, another long straightaway also for drafting, and then tight corners, so then you can really have an opportunity for passing. Then obviously after that, it's the legend. We go into the Indy 500, and we have 2 weeks of running. A lot of people showing in the evening to see us run in the pack, and it builds up. There's a lot of energy that builds up during those 2 weeks, and qualifying day is an amazing weekend. Another weekend that's full of adrenaline, and then you get into the big one, and the big one is obviously is always going to be special. There's never going to be anything like it. So people come to it. It's our Super Bowl, and it's just phenomenal to be part of it.
We'll take our last question from Wolfgang.
Simon, I want to come back to your surprising answer for me that racing in the rain is fun. But is it not tricky following cars in open wheel racing with all the heavy spray? You can't see nothing or nearly nothing.
Yeah, it's true. It was tough at times. I was trying to cool down my tires, but everybody was trying to do that. So then the spray was huge, and quite frankly, I couldn't really see Harvey when I passed him. So, but that's part of it. You gotta be aware of what's around you, and that's part of racing. It's really an awareness and a concentration state that you get in, and you have to trust yourself that you know where people is around you. So it's uncomfortable situation to be comfortable in.
Simon, congratulations.
Thank you.
We will see you in a couple days.